This winter break, I got a guitar randomly.
Do you know how to play the guitar?
No, but I started learning, and then I kind of it fell off because I'm doing other things. But I am gonna learn. Initially, I just got it because I wanted to put it on my wall.
Oh.
Yeah, because one of my friends came. Well, I made a friend here who came on exchange from Toronto, and he was leaving, and his friend had a guitar, who was also leaving, and gave it to him. He didn't want the guitar either, so he gave it to me, and so I brought it home, and now my first song I'm learning is "Best Part" by Daniel Caesar and Her, because it's an easy chord progression. And I got like 3 of the 4 chords down, so.
Is it an acoustic?
Yeah.
You should learn "Don't Stop Believing."
No.
It's so fun to play.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the only thing I know how to play.
Maybe I should give it to you.
No.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Guitar. Okay. Yeah. What are we actually talking about today, Sabrina?
I guess in a nutshell, it's like types of biases and effects people have that people might not realize they have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I suppose we're raising awareness.
But which in itself is kind of a paradox, because if
it's
something that you don't know about, like knowing about the thing won't make you know about it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. That's one of the effects.
But yeah, I think the most popular one is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this whole idea that it's a curve of like how much you know and how much you think you know about a certain topic. And at the beginning, you may you think you know more than you actually know, but as you learn more, you realize more things that you don't know. So basically, like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know about a specific topic. So beginners are very overconfident. Intermediate people are very underestimating of themselves, and then the experts are the experts.
You think the experts know how much they know,
but they can't really communicate that. They can't really communicate that well to the layman because they're such an expert in the field that like all the technical jargon they take for granted, right? That the layman wouldn't. My question to you is, who do you think most people will believe? The person who's so overconfident that they think they know so much about the topic when they don't know much, the person who underestimates themselves, or the expert who can't really communicate his opinion that clearly to people who are non-experts?
Do you know what? I think there's this other effect that comes into play in all these circumstances, scenarios, where imagine you're the expert and I'm the user. And you're explaining something to me. I'm only going to interpret it how I know how to interpret things. So it could be wrong from what you're saying from the get-go. But if you're talking about like who I'm more inclined to believe, right? Definitely someone who's overconfident. Right? That's the whole thing.
Are you seeing the parallels? Right?
Were we talking about this? We were like, oh no, it wasn't you. Where so much of
you have another podcast. Shame.
No, I mean just in daily conversations. How like politicians now have to have, they can't just focus on politics. They have to have the whole demeanor. They have to have all this like confidence because that's what people follow, right? It's not just about the politics anymore. So yeah. But I read something else about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which was that they also have this underestimation where maybe that's what you're speaking about. Yeah, they're not. They are probably aware of what they know, but they're unable to communicate well to others because they assume that others also have the same knowledge.
Yeah, that's the experts.
Why is my mom calling me?
Pause. Did it pause the thing?
No, it's still going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the experts, they know so much that they don't know how to communicate it. The underestimators know more than the people who think they know a lot, but they don't know that because they think they don't know much because they know what they don't know. But I feel like that's how things are right now. Like with politics, with the internet, like the loud and wrong people are the people that get the most notoriety because if you're loud, they're loud, but not a lot of people. The people that don't know anything about it don't really know that they're wrong. And the people that do know something about it see them being loud and think, okay, you probably know more than me. But you actually know more than them.
Yeah, and it causes, whoa.
What's a topic or or a field that you think you might be having the Dunning-Kruger effect?
The first thing that came to my mind immediately was going to the gym, but that's more about like the personal emotions you're experiencing. You know, when you start off fresh and you don't know anything, you're just going with it, everything's fun. And then you hit a point where, you know, you could always be doing more. You could be fine tuning your workouts to either be going for like more reps or more sets. You could be eating more to gain, well, like specific things, count your macros to gain muscle mass, or I don't know, to bulk to cat, and then you just learn more and more and more to a point where you're like, okay, I might not know anything.
Yeah. Like recently I changed my workout program to now 5 days a week, full body each time. And it's more science based. Like this one guy, Jeff Nippert, it's his program. And he's like the science based lifter. That's what he's known as in the gym community. And there's so much more that I'm learning now that I didn't even think was a part of the thing.
That's
right?
crazy because you've been going for a really long time.
Yeah. So it's like kind of relearning. I think that happens every day in life. But I think the most prominent part of life where you see this effect, I think is just growing up, right? Because like if you look at yourself when you're 17, when you're 17, you probably thought you were the shit. You probably thought like you knew a lot of things, and then you grow and you're like, damn, I was dumb. And then it keeps happening, right? Every couple of years that you grow, you're like, damn, I thought I unlocked the world,
but in fact I knew nothing.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. And it kind of sends you into a little bit of a spiral, right? When you realize it's happening. It's like, oh, I don't know how much I know, what I know, how much more there is to know, how I'm supposed to proceed with anything when everything could be underlined with more information and other perspectives. But I think that's why people keep telling the old story of no one knows what they're doing, so just do it anyways, right? You learn that no matter what age or walk of life or whatever, it's that a lot of people a lot of the time don't know everything that they're doing, and it's just a common consensus that life goes on, continue, just do it.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for me, it's so hard to come to terms with the fact that there's no like method.
Yeah, it's that uncertainty of the world, right? That's a little bit difficult.
What about the middle part? What like the middle part where you know enough to know you don't know a lot?
Right.
Which part of life or which part of your set of skills and abilities do you think you falls under there? Yeah.
Oh, I feel that so much in what the things we're studying and the field of work that it'll lead to. It's like I really feel like I don't know anything. I kind of know some of the things I don't know. Like I know this exists, but obviously I don't know about anything more about it. And I know there's a whole world that I'm just unaware of. More specifically, just into like AI and machine learning and all of that. And oh wow, it really causes me to be so underconfident in my abilities that I forget that I can actually do some things, you know. It's really scary. Yeah. And I also just feel like everyone around me knows more. I wonder if that's part of the effect. Yeah.
It probably is.
Like in a room full of all the students, I feel like everyone else
knows more than you.
Exactly what they're doing, and
yeah. I think also an interesting part of it is like, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought.
What part of
it's gone.
Your life is this in?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how like people are just optimistic about things or like about the future?
Oh.
And I'm like, surely like you don't think, there's no way you think it's just gonna like happen like that, right? Like surely you know that there's a lot more in between that's probably like you're a lot closer to being broke and homeless than being rich and successful, realistically speaking. It's a power law curve where like the rich keep getting, I feel like it sounds like a given when you say it like blandly, but a lot of people are so, and I guess yes, being optimistic is a good thing, but like, are you just on the first phase of the curve where you're just so overconfident, or are you an expert and actually know what you're saying. Because there's no way you just think you're gonna graduate and get a job and become rich. Maybe that's the pessimist in me, or maybe that's me knowing that there's so much more to learn before you can even get to that point of becoming rich.
And also factoring in probability.
Right. Because it's like, one good one. And also, this might be going off on a tangent, but like crypto. Because a lot of my friends have been starting to talk to me about like, just get into crypto, bro. Surely you realize that the people, like, first of all, it's like the what's it called? Confirmation bias. The people that post online that they got 10x or 20x of their investments are the people that made it. There are like millions more that didn't post because they didn't make it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you think that you're gonna just invest in this one coin and it's gonna boom, and then you're just gonna make your money back, and then you're just gonna get rich. Maybe I'm just a pessimist, but I think that's an area where I think I know for a fact that I'm in that middle section, and a lot of people that I know are in that beginner section where they're like, yeah, it's so easy, bro.
Do you know, up till recently, I used to assume, I think it's along the same lines of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. I assumed that they were as aware of what they're doing as I was. So, this thing that you're saying, like, oh, surely they know. I would assume that, they do know, and that's why they're saying this nonetheless. And then I've come to learn with some experiences, just out there in the world, that many people, you cannot assume that of them because they genuinely just believe that. And it's kind of weird because what do you do?
Yeah. I do think there are some areas where you need to assume the best, like in terms of like meeting new people. I think it's good that you just like, sure, that a lot of people are just bad, but I think you need to start by giving them the benefit. That's how you make friends. That's how you build connection. You run the risk of like, I guess, getting your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
But you kind of need to go through that, right? You can't just say, okay, I know enough about people to know that you can't trust everybody, but you still need to start off with that high confidence, low knowledge. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
What makes the world go around? Yeah. If everyone does it, then it works. Okay, other effects. Have you heard of the third person effect?
What's the third person effect?
So it's overestimating the influence of media messages on others or believing oneself is immune.
So that's a good one.
You think,
I think that
ads won't affect me, but they'll brainwash others.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
I feel like this describes most of my life.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm on such a high horse. I just normally think, I'm immune to all of these things, but now that you say it, I'm probably not. It's just more like in your subconscious, right? You don't realize that you're getting affected by it, but you are.
But I suppose these are just labels for things, right? They don't really. I don't think they're meant for you to question your behavior and what you should change. It's just a label for something that's happening. I think nonetheless, it's better to be in this position of having this effect, because it also means that you're a little more educated than the people who aren't in this area, and that will still help nonetheless. It's better than not being a little bit more knowledgeable. It's like, this is probably the still the middle section of the Dunning-Kruger effect, right?
I guess what do you think the sweet spot is in the curve?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out, because this ties back to what I was saying in our year recap podcast. I was just so confident that I knew everything last year, and now it feels like reality's hit me, where in fact it's just that I'm in the next phase of the curve. I don't know, I think it's just it's a cyclical process that you need to keep going through. Like, you need to be overconfident sometimes, and then you need to learn that there are things you don't know, and then you need to ideally become an expert in it, and then you do it all over again.
The curve keeps going. It doesn't just end at the expert stage. It's going up, and then it comes back down again because you realize more.
Confidence will get you very far in life, but you also have to develop from that confidence. Otherwise,
LinkedIn is an example.
You're just stuck. Yeah.
It's loud and stupid, but we're not gonna talk about that. Third person effect. I think recently I started getting back on Instagram, and I think I've noticed I've I've been trying to not let, I guess, what I see on social media affect me, but it probably does. Like I'd be on Reels for like 10 minutes. I just see something so like something that like knocks me out of
The bubble.
the bubble. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I just gotta close the app. There's no way.
I sometimes I take a step back. Well, I don't know like what happens or when it's triggered, but I suddenly realize that the algorithm of something has been working on me, and I've just been following it, and I've seen how it's adapted from my interest and what I've engaged with and something.
Mhm.
I'm just like, whoa, I've just fallen prey to exactly what the thing is built to do. It's kind of weird. I just hope this happens to everyone, that they're able to take that perspective.
Definitely happens to everyone. I think it's also off of social media. I think just in your surroundings, right? You feel like you're not affected when you move to places, but you definitely are. Because recently I got a jacket, and then I think it's a type of jacket that would fit well in Amsterdam surroundings. But I've been so keen on the idea that I'm still like the same me, like in terms of like what I like is what I like, and it hasn't been affected by Amsterdam. Then I showed some of my friends back home, and they're like, "That's a terrible jacket." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," and then that made me realize, like, yeah, okay, definitely like the city, because they also said like it's probably just an Amsterdam thing, but yeah, it's not it. I was like, oh.
Speaking of which, it's just so much harder to realize things in the real world. I was thinking like, oh, I would never join a cult because I don't want to join a cult, and I know what cults are, so that would not happen to me. No one can talk me into it. And then the other day I realized that I was basically part of one.
What?
It's not an official cult, but they very much behave like one. Got our clickbait for this episode, apparently.
You're in a cult, okay.
And it was in my impressionable years as well. It started when I was it actually started when I was basically like 7, 8. It was just a yearly camp I went to, and then oh my god, I'm gonna sound so naive as I speak through this. They very much appeared like they were doing very good work, and they are doing good work to some extent, but the basis of the organization is very
culty.
Yes. And then I suddenly dedicated more time towards it in when I was around 15, and like months of my time basically. And there are, as all things are, there are good things in it. You meet good people who have the same goal and whatnot, and you make friends, and you're like, oh, you start associating this place with the place that you make new friends, and the place that you socialize, and the place that you learn things, from people who are more experienced, people who have wisdom. And then it only broke when I ended up going somewhere where it was the meeting of all the cult divisions from other countries in this main place, and suddenly it hit. Everything hit, and I was like, oh my god, this is a cult. And I've stopped ever since, but gosh.
Damn.
Right? So I feel like I'm type A susceptible, number one susceptible to any of these things, even if I think I'm immune to it.
I think it's a thing with a lot of things, right? When you're in it, it's so hard to see the bigger picture. But from a bird's eye view, from someone from the outside looking in, it's so obvious. Like it's like with an abusive relationship or like things like that, like a pyramid scheme. You notice when someone's trying to get you in on it, but then the person who's in on it doesn't realize that they're in a pyramid scheme.
So honestly, this is why
Be aware.
I once said like before, it was in one of the lessons I learned, that I'm gonna treat everyone with a little more forgiveness and a little more, leeway, because things happen, and it happens to all of us.
Egocentric bias, the tendency to rely too heavily on one's own perspective and experiences when evaluating the world. So when giving advice to somebody, you kind of just draw from your own, which is like the human thing.
You kind of have to do this.
Yeah, but like, do you ever think like it can be, because like their life is not your life.
Yeah.
Your situation is not exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you just feel the urge, like, because that's the only knowledge base you can draw from is your life. So what do you think about that?
Do you know what
like when you're teaching someone how to ride a bike, you try to teach them the way you learned it.
Yeah.
But also like everyone learns how to ride a bike differently. Do you get? Like how I learned was like, it wasn't the whole like cliche like close your eyes, ride, and then eventually like your dad stops holding you.
What? Close your eyes?
Not close your eyes, but like ride, and then your dad is holding you, and then he's not holding. It was I had training wheels for so long,
right?
And one day I was just riding, and I got to a part of the my neighborhood where the roads
Mhm.
weren't that good, and I was biking so fast because everyone else had normal bikes, and normal bikes go way faster than the ones with training wheels. So I was trying to catch up. It hit a pothole. One of the training wheels fell off. I didn't notice. The other one also fell off, and I was riding the bike, and I was like, "Oh!" But everyone's not. You get what I'm trying to say?
That's a very good
Everyone's not gonna
experience.
learn the same way.
No, everyone is not. It's also like giving advice to someone who's going through a breakup, right? And you're drawing on your own experience. I think so. Okay, this is very much how people show empathy. Very,
Mhm.
very much.
Yeah.
You're drawing your own effect. You're drawing on your own experience, and you're realizing, kind of what maybe they're going through, and then from that you're moving on. But I think for me, a big downside to it is that it makes me a little bit closed minded
Mm-hmm.
to what they're saying because I just keep going back to my experience, or the experience that I had gone through, and I'm just drawing parallels the whole time, and I'm empathizing like that. I'm not able to picture myself in their shoes at like entirely, and to think like, oh, there are these aspects that also happen, and I'm trying to factor that into consideration, but it just becomes so much harder because I'm just drawing these lines from my own experience
Yeah.
and sharing from that. And yeah, I think it also just goes to the thing of you really just need to experience it yourself. You can hear it 100 times over from other people,
Yeah.
but you will likely make the same mistakes because we are all people at the end of the day. People do the same thing, and you'll learn from it, and you'll want to share it again to someone else and try help them learn from yours and hope that they don't make the mistakes from the get-go.
But
they're gonna make mistakes. That's how you learn how to ride a bike. That's crazy. Training for me, the gap between training wheels and no training wheels was just too big to overcome.
So
That's probably for everyone, right? That it's like doing a pull-up where you can do everything, but there's just a big gap between the actual thing and all the other methods that at some point you just have to try tackle
because the hard part isn't like pedaling, it's the balance part. Like just
pedaling is kind of just showing you like, oh, this is how this thing works. If you pedal, the wheels turn, you move forward, but you kind of just have to jump in the deep end, take them off, and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have two more. Do you have any?
I have no idea.
You want to do self-serving or false consensus? False consensus.
Oh, I like false consensus. That's a big one. The tendency to assume that others share your beliefs, attitudes, or preferences
more than they actually do.
That is such a big one that I feel like people don't realize is happening. Is that you just, and it's again completely normal. This is just a label for a thing that's happening. You walk into an unknown situation and you're just assuming that everyone has the same background and experience as you, and there's so much. There's just chance that you're gonna walk out not even realizing that was not the case. Sometimes maybe there's something that brings you to reality. And it's like, whoa, okay, it's different, but wow, yeah, super blinded by that.
Everyone assumes that I drink coffee, and whenever I meet people like at a thing, it's like let's grab a coffee. I don't even drink coffee, but it's so like coded. I guess that it's like,
I'm very bad at suppressing the shock I feel sometimes, and then I go through that thing of you don't do that, and then the person's like, no. And I know this probably irritates a lot of people. Trevor Noah had a skit about this, and he was like, and people are just so shocked that they did not have the exact same life experiences as the other person.
Yeah. But why do we do that, though? That's so interesting. Like, why don't you think Interstellar is the best movie of all time? You haven't even watched it? What the fuck?
Like, you haven't watched it?
Yeah.
No, you can ask me again until what have changed. Like, why do you think people walk into a situation assuming? Maybe it's just, what do you say? It's exerting, not exerting.
But I know the word.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Projecting.
Projecting? Yeah, probably. Projecting what they know, because that's the only thing they can do. They can't project.
You're trying to relate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to be relatable. Like,
you're trying to connect, and you're trying to maybe break the barrier of entry or be familiar with the situation in the fastest way possible. That's the easy way. And maybe 9 times out of 10, it's not a situation is not serious enough for the differences to show. And it's like, okay, baseline is there. Like, you eat food, I eat food. Wow. Yeah. I can assume that. it would make life so much more difficult if if I just met you and suddenly I'm like, hey, do you drink water? Do you eat solid food? Or
Right,
do you,
yeah.
like, do you walk? Do you talk? And stuff like that, yeah.
I think one thing for me was like whenever I meet a guy, I used to always like try to bond first on like football being the sport of choice. But then I think it's more F1 or like MMA. Also maybe because there's just more Eastern Europeans here.
Okay.
But that was something that I needed to like kind of reevaluate in terms of the false consensus. People still watch football, but it's not as common as F1, I think. At least the people that I've met here.
Even in my experiences back home, it's that you can pretty much assume that everyone watches football and supports a team, either in the Premier League or La Liga, and immediately bond off that. But yeah, I feel like, well, I've never tried bonding with someone over this, but I can see how that would be entirely different.
Are you ever surprised when people don't share the same like moral values?
Oh, extremely. I think that's maybe my most hypocritical aspect, or like my most traditional way of thinking that I need to be more progressive about.
Same.
Extremely. And I think a lot of the times I might even not fully share what I'm thinking because I know what I'm thinking is wrong. And I just pray that the other person is more progressive than I am.
Yeah. The craziest thing for me was I used to assume everyone just showers once a day in the morning every day, or twice a day, morning, evening, but never like only once in the evening or only once a week. When I found that out, my world broke.
Oh, and it's I feel like I project other opinions upon that, and it's also a bit of a learning curve to get over that. Yeah, no, that was a huge one.
Yeah.
That was a huge one to learn about.
The last one I have is self-serving bias. It's the habit of attributing success to internal factors like your skill and whatnot, and failures to external factors like luck and stuff like that.
That's serious.
I think I'm very guilty of this, more so than the other effects that we've discussed so far. Because I feel like that's just the easiest thing to do, right?
It is.
If you do well, I deserve it. If you didn't,
it's comforting yourself, right?
Yeah.
And again, I think all of these are so difficult to, okay, they sound bad. They all kind of sound bad, but you realize they happen because they don't have too much of an effect in day to day. It's not that every situation it's like, whoa, that was the wrong thing to have done. It's just so minor in what it does to you. Like, say I drop this cup, it's just, I'm not going to admit, like, it does no harm if I just say, hey, it's the door caused me to do this, instead of, hey, I dropped this cup, I need to take, I need to admit that I did it. Yeah. And also, I mean, personally, I'm so sensitive to also just what I say to myself. The whole idea that I'll only say positive things because at least, I need to trick myself into believing something that, that is necessary.
Yeah. Like when I dropped my phone, I was like, that's not my fault. It just fell out of my pocket. My pockets were too big. It's not my fault.
And also, you will nonetheless learn from the experience. I mean, you try every day not to drop your phone anyways. Yeah. So it's like little harm, little foul, I suppose.
Interesting is, I think I'm in a phase of life where I'm not very spiritual. Is that the word?
Sure.
Where like I'm not. I don't see the benefit in attributing any part of my being to God's plan or
right, yeah. You wanna say that?
Yeah,
sure.
Not attributing any part of my being to like
fate
or like
destiny,
karma, all that kind of thing. I think I'm in an era of my life where I think everything is just like a skill issue type of thing where I'm probably just not good enough for this. That's why I didn't do well, or I put in the work, I put in the hours, and that's why I did this. It's not divine intervention. I said it.
No, I think as a day-to-day, that's good, because it's always better to take responsibility of something than to try scapegoat it. Because I mean, okay, say that there's a chance that it is actually something else, and there's a chance that you did something about it. It is 100% always better to just assume that it wasn't the scapegoat, because you run the risk, I suppose, of doing it more and more and more and other things, and then that will stunt your growth. It's not about the action itself, but it's about the ripple effect it has, right? And yeah, for just normally, I think it's better to do that. I think a lot of people, and I'm definitely guilty of this myself, have the first instinct to blame something else, and then it has so many bad effects. How you process, how you deal, whatever. Yeah.
Because then even like for day to day, but also like for, I guess, future aspirations and stuff, like I feel like I'm a more like just do it rather than wait around, or like this thing tells me that because I'm a Aries rising and a Cancer moon that 2026 will be my year, so this year I should just live life type of thing. I don't know, that's just me though.
Why not just take action, and if something does happen, if something was meant to happen, it happens, then so be it, rather than not taking action and seeing.
Because I've been seeing on Twitter recently, when someone posts something big, like I think someone bought a Tesla and they're like, big girl purchase, and in the comments it's like, oh, what sign are you? And then they're like something, really? And then they're like, oh yeah, me too, so I'm expecting.
It's like confirmation bias, right? For
posting. I just think it's not the smartest.
To each their own, but definitely not what you should do with everything in your life if you want to.
Yeah, like if you're still working towards it, fine. It's fine to have your own beliefs and spiritual compass, but you should still like know that you have to put in some sort of work.
And if you're unable to separate the two, then that's where the problem is.
Definitely.
Similar to the which one was the one you said?
False consensus, egocentric, self-serving.
I can't remember, but did we talk about the act to observer bias?
Act to observer.
So attributing your own actions to external circumstances while attributing others' actions to their personality. So you're late because the tram didn't come. They're late because they're irresponsible. That's a tough one, hey. This is again goes back to the whole thing of people should be slightly more forgiving to each other, because the thing is, it's difficult to.
Even knowing it now, I still think it though, because I know that like I'm a type of person for most things. Early is on time is late. Yeah. So I'm also like a little bit unforgiving for myself if I show up like a little late to something. So I'm definitely unforgiving to somebody else if they show up late. I don't care that you could have left earlier, is what I will always say. Yeah. And I still think, obviously now hearing this, I might be a little bit more forgiving, but I'm still going to be thinking like, you could have tried a little harder.
And then you also, I suppose, somewhere in your mind, you just miss the times that you were late and whatever the case was. And you already think of, that this is the value, this is the moral you hold, and this is the moral you want to project onto someone else. Yeah, no, and I try, but it's still so hard to fully, I suppose, do the better thing of this. Like when someone shows up with a reason, to not first think, oh, you just made up an excuse, but like that was probably real. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and whatnot.
But do you know what radicalized me this way? What? Was that in my first year, I had this thing with the program director, Ilka. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the only one supposed to be there. It was me and another student, and then like we were interviewing potential lecturers.
New staff, right?
Yeah, new staff. And then it was like around the time I started being like productive, like, and I showed up late. And to me, it was like, okay, it's because this and that, my alarm didn't go off. Or like it was so windy that day that I was biking super slow, this, that, and the third. And he was forgiving, but I did not forgive myself. He was like, yeah, it's fine. Because I was like, I think 15 minutes late. And then I ended up saying like, oh, the tram got canceled because I was too embarrassed to say the actual reason. And then so ever since then, I've become like an early is on time is late, and I've been a little bit unforgiving for people that don't respect that. So
I think it's also hard to control the emotions in the situation, right? You can understand, but if you're still irritated, if you're still angry, that's that's can't really
but it's
help,
only
right?
for like semi-serious. If it's like you're coming up to my house or whatever, like that's fine.
But that's
you
the
come
thing.
in,
There's always these caveats.
yeah.
If you know, and maybe someone else in they consider even the small things you need to be punctual for, and they'll still be unforgiving, even if you're genuinely just like, this was obviously no big deal. This was not a serious meeting.
Like if I'm meeting up with a friend to go somewhere, and I come and they're like, "Oh, I missed the tram. I'm taking the next one." I'd be a little annoyed. Like I'll get over it like after like 5 minutes of talking when they actually come. But in the first 5 minutes, I'd be like,
because I mean, you're there, right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
But if it's me, I'm like, why are you even mad? It's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, these are
we're
the
all
main ones I
hypocrites
had.
in one way or another.
Exactly. I have two more, but they're sort of linked. It's the illusion of transparency and spotlight effect. So, illusion of transparency, the belief that one's emotions, intentions, or thoughts are more apparent to others than they actually are, which is a big thing. So, you think it's a big deal? It's everyone knows it's not a big deal. Everyone in the room didn't even notice. You think, oh, I mean, that's spotlight effect. So people believe that they are more noticed or scrutinized more than they actually are.
The first one is more like what? Like when you explain something, you think that they get it more than they actually do. Like when you, like if you're hurt and you're trying to tell someone that you're hurt and get them to understand why, they probably don't understand it as much as you think they do.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of overlap in the two, but the example that was given was you're nervous in a presentation and you think that everyone can notice, but they can't.
Oh.
And then spotlight is
I can notice though.
feeling like
I can notice.
I know you notice. You're like it's come up in a few podcasts and you're like, I notice, and I'm like, oh my god, you're my worst nightmare. And spotlight is feeling like
I'm not gonna
everyone...
say anything about it.
I know, but
ahead.
you're literally the worst person ever. Like even if I do notice, I pretend like I don't, because I hope other people do the same for me. But you are like, glass shatters in every single thing. You're like, yeah, they might not notice. I notice, and you put it out. Spotlight effect is, for example, feeling like everyone is staring at you after spilling coffee on yourself.
Wait, say that again?
So you spill coffee on yourself, and you feel like everyone's staring at you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the
Okay,
first
so one is maybe a little literal, and the second one is more abstract.
So, like with the nervousness thing, I don't know. I think it's because like I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
So like I notice it like whenever we're having presentations in class, I notice like the littlest things. Like if you're holding a piece of paper and it's shaking, I won't laugh at you.
Obviously.
But like I'll notice it like, okay, he's nervous. Or like just a little bit vibrato in your voice. Or like if you're quiet or if you're standing in one place. I just can't help but notice these things because like I was that and I like progressed.
You hyperfixated on your own idiosyncrasies, and now you notice that in other people because you did it for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the second one was what, the coffee thing? When has that happened to me? I think
like you do something embarrassing in public and you think
yesterday in the gym. So I got a new gym shirt. It's like a white long sleeve compression from
You've
Under
wanted
Armour.
this for 3 years.
Huh?
You've wanted this.
Yeah, exactly. And I finally got it.
Go on.
But in my first I was doing deadlifts. The bar was a little dirty because it's white. Like when I brought it down, like it scraped here and it was just like a brown stain.
Yeah.
And for the whole workout, I was uncomfortable because I was like,
no.
everyone's gonna see this little brown stain on my new white shirt. And I thought,
maybe they did. That's the person you are.
Yeah,
You're
maybe
like,
they probably did. Yeah.
But again, no big deal. End of the day, no big deal.
Like when I'm working to my next station, I'm like holding my bottle and my towel like close to my chest so it doesn't show it. No one's gonna notice. I know that. Realistically, no one cares. But you just can't help it.
I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, it would also be the ripple effect of, oh, people are going to always remember me as the person who's done this, and I'm going to be embarrassed every time I step foot back in this gym when the same people are around.
That happened to me though, but mine was more large scale. Like I started a fire. I told you, I started a fire my first week moving in, and the whole floor metal detector went off, and like I think like a month later, I was going in to my room and he's like, oh, you're the fire guy. I was like, There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. He doesn't even know my name, but he knows me as the fire guy. I'm gonna be forever known as the fire guy by my apartment.
I love that.
My neighbors for the rest
I
of my
love
time living
that.
there.
It's always such a funny story when people bring this up. I don't know. I always see that it's a lesson that people share to others. It's like people care a lot less about you than you think, so these things they won't remember, but doesn't mean everyone won't remember. Some people will.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are people. I think I have all these effects. I think
Definitely. I think we all have
it. Yeah.
to varying degrees, but we all have these effects.
To varying degrees.
Varying. What did I say?
Varying.
Yeah,
Varying. I don't know if that's how other people say that. Yeah.
To varying degrees. What do you think is the biggest one for you? We can end there.
Ooh. I don't know. I'll have a I'll need a moment to think about it. But right now, I'm feeling so exposed and vulnerable after just listing all of these one by one and realizing, wow, I'm just a sheep, and we're all just sheep.
There's not one single unique experience in this world.
I feel like they all just happen all the time. I'll probably only remember the last one that was most obvious to me. I think, it's the third person effect within like the Dunning-Kruger, where I think I'm aware of what's happening, and therefore it won't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the key word here is that I think I'm aware. And then I learn of how untrue that is later on or in a moment. Or so much of that has been happening lately.
I think you and me
over
both.
Over and repeat.
We kind of preach awareness.
Yeah.
But it's just that doesn't do much.
This whole podcast is kind of like that, right? Where we're really just exposing ourselves of how much and how little we know, and that's okay. That's what things are for. Yeah,
I think it's important. The fact that we know these exist doesn't automatically mean that we become like immune to them. We're still gonna do them, but I guess it's a little. I guess you can feel a little bit better knowing that you're doing something rather than not knowing.
And I think just take out of it, not that you need to. Well, okay, if you need to change. But definitely. If it's not that big of a deal, then take out of it that you should just be a little nicer to everyone else and try to judge people a little bit less, or at least try, keep your emotions to yourself about how you react. And
you're not always right.
You're not always right. Two rights can coexist.
Two things can be correct. Two things can be true.
True. Two things can be true. There we go.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Two rights can coexist.
What?